what would you classify as toxic or a toxic relationship?
Definitely. So one of the big things that is important for me is, what am I feeling at that moment? And a lot of folks remember what they felt at the moment, but they don't remember, maybe why they felt that way or whatever. They just know that they didn't feel safe. They maybe not felt as supported as they wanted to. And it's the simple red flags that can tell us whether we're in a harmful environment or whether it's actually a good environment to be in, a good relationship. So for me, it's going to be your emotion behind it, because I experience mental abuse. So whenever it's mental, it's not so like, oh, I have a bruise on me. I have, he bashed my head into the wall. There wasn't, it's a little bit easier to identify a toxic relationship if those things are physically happening. But if you are having a mind battle within yourself, it's a lot harder to convince yourself that something's wrong, because the aggressor is going to be the one that's saying, it's you. You're the one with the problem. Everything's cool. I don't have a problem.
Right. So would you say every time red flags come up in a relationship that can be considered a toxic relationship, or is it something that's like reoccurring, like continuous red flags that keep popping up that will make it a toxic relationship?
Right. That's a great question, because it's so easy to see something that you don't like and then want to run. So it's important that you really weigh out who this person is as an individual. So if you know that this person, it has tendencies of being toxic but don't really realize it, then maybe you can literally talk to them about it and say, hey, this is kind of bothering me, and I've seen it be a pattern. Is this something that you're willing to kind of dive into and see, or are you like totally shut down from it and there's nothing wrong with me? Those are relationships that will probably last you a lot longer, because you were able to discuss with them, hey, this is kind of worrying me, and not come at them in a way that's like, there's something wrong with you. I don't like this, right? Because then you could be the one, like you were saying earlier, that's actually the more toxic person.
What are the odds of somebody that gets out of a toxic relationship? Because I also want to ask you, how can you get out of a toxic relationship? But what are the odds of somebody that gets out of a toxic relationship reoccurring, getting back in one, or actually becoming the toxic one, because they have those triggers? And as humans, our defense mechanism is to sometimes do it to other people before they do it to us.
Right.
As well as they say, hurt people hurt people. So if you have been hurt mentally and you never dealt with it and don't know that you have those scars, what are the odds of you going into another relationship and becoming the toxic one in that relationship?
I don't have the percentages, but I bet you it's very high. Here's why. A lot of the times, whenever we leave a relationship, we automatically jump into another one. So we're not giving ourselves any time to heal. We're not considering what that is actually what we're bringing into the next relationship. So for us, the odds are super high that we are even, like you said, going to be the toxic person. And it's scary, because once you've crossed over that line, you don't know that you are the toxic person now. So you went from not knowing that you're in a toxic relationship to not knowing that now you're the one causing the toxic relationship. So it's really dangerous territory. And the only way I see that we can get past that is to sit with ourselves. And unfortunately, or fortunately, we're going to have to integrate ourselves in another relationship with someone that is mature enough to be like, okay, here's where I think you could really work on, and currently now I am in one of those relationships where he'll be like, hey, so you're bringing something in from the past. Like, what are we going to do about that? Right. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then he's like, yes, you are. And I'll sit with myself and I'm like, man,
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Enlightenment Moment Podcast. Head over to iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you normally listen to your podcast to catch the full version of this episode. And while you're here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this one. Until next time, stay focused, stay aware, and keep your vibrations high.